Go.
Welcome back, people, to tonight's second episode on Sports and Banter, where we'll be focusing on all things boxing. Following last night's fight between Tony Bellew and Usyk, we'll be discussing the matchroom card. Tony Bellew himself, the potential fight between Anthony Crolla and the wrecking ball that is Lomachenko. This week, Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora 2 has been announced. Will it be the same old story, or will it be revenge for Derek Chisora? And we'll be closing the show on the Special K and everything surrounding Brook, going into his potential split from Dominic Ingle. Is a much anticipated fight between him and Queen Khan finally sorted, and the rumours surrounding whether his new coach could potentially be Adam Booth or Dave Caldwell. So, joining us tonight, we've got two of the regulars, Hakan and Hassan. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Yeah, all rosy manosy. Salam alaikum. Hoş geldiniz. You know, for the boxing side of everything else. Let's talk.
Good. So, last night, I think it was a great night of boxing, to be fair. There was some good names on the Bellew Usyk undercard, which we'll go through. Really pleased for Dave Allen to, the way he came, that was a bit of a bloodfest, really, wasn't it, that fight? The way he finished it with the big overhand right. I thought...
Yeah, to be honest, Dave Allen, I'll give him his dues last night. He come round with it. But he should be finishing these types of fights. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? He should be putting them out. And I listened to an interview after last night saying that he hardly sparred for this fight since his Nick Webb win. His that Nebo win, his last fight. He's hardly sparred. And I'm thinking, don't get me wrong, mate. I know there's certain issues outside the ring in your life that don't involve around boxing. But if you want to make it, and if you've been given this opportunity to fight on the sky, you've got to put everything in to reap the rewards. And last night, he took a little hiding himself, mate. Mm-hmm. I looked at an interview earlier on this morning with him, a day after, and he looked like he got covered a couple of times yesterday.
Mm-hmm. No, he did.
It's another win, 3 wins in the bounce. Roll on to the next one.
No, definitely.
I think. Which I'd love to see Dave Allen do, mate. I'd love to see him go into a proper camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do a 12-week camp and see where he comes out of that after that. And if he does, if he could do that, I'd like to see it, mate. I just think that he's got to start taking his boxing a little bit more serious. Whether that's down to financial reasons or not, I don't know. But
Eddie Hearn said that he won't be fighting again this year. If anything, he'll fight on, because he was scheduled to fight on the Brook card on the 8th of December. If anything, he'll fight at the end of December on the Dillian Whyte Chisora card, and he needs to get a trainer, because at the moment his trainer's not actually a proper trainer.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think did you notice there was a little IFL interview with Adam Booth?
Mm-hmm.
Very interested to know if Adam Booth helps him out.
Yeah, I think with Dave Allen as well, his publicised demons that he deals with in terms of his drinking and his lifestyle and his gambling and stuff like that, obviously, I think do still haunt him. But it's like you touched on, Hack. Like the guy's obviously got ability and stuff like that. But these champions are champions for a reason. Like talent's nothing unless you've got the mentality and the work ethic to go with it. So I just hope he does focus and keep on the straight and narrow and actually goes on to achieve what possibly his potential could be. I don't think he will ever be world level. I think he would be a strong, top domestic fighter. Maybe European level.
Yeah, I think if he wins the European level, that'll be the pinnacle for him. Do you know what I mean? European fight. But I think winning the British is a major thing. But the thing is, he's not world level, but he's an entertaining fighter we will love to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a people's champ, isn't
he? That's exactly what he is, the people's champ. He's fucking shit. I don't think he's that great. Like I said, I think he's British title will be a good test for him. But yeah, a British title would be a good test for him. But I think that's about as far as it goes for him.
No, definitely. Moving on then, did you watch the Ricky Burns fight as well?
Good knockout. Good knockout.
Oh, mate.
Well.
That was...
Burns boxed very well. And I think it's, to be fair, Cardo, I think it's the end of the road for him.
Yeah.
He lost to Lewis Ritson in horrible fashion. He's lost to Ricky Burns in horrible fashion. Give him his dues. He took the Ricky Burns fight. He's a 3-time champion. But, Ricky Burns looked good. I think he should come back now and try and pursue another world title fight. Not the elite in his weight, but if he can try and scrape out another world title fight or against an elite fighter in his weight group in America, then he should go out to America and earn a bit more cash.
The thing that stood out for me was Burns just looked leagues above him at all time. Like for me, like he could see the ring craft and the experience. Stood out for me. He was putting him in positions he didn't know how to handle, and just the little tricks that come with obviously what Ricky Burns has picked up for years. And it looked like he could have gone up a level or two in that fight, but he just did basically, in a weird way, you could say schooled him, really, couldn't you?
Yeah, he did. He did school him. I thought it was a really good showing from Burns yesterday. I thought it'd be a good fight. I thought Card will come out actually in the first round, look quite on his toes, looked like he was really wanting to do something. But yeah, just too much for him. Ricky Burns was far too much for him. Far too much for him, and deserved the win clearly. I'll tell you someone else who I thought was really, really good yesterday. Was Josh Kelly, mate. I like Josh Kelly a lot. I think Josh Kelly is decent. I think it was a bit of a mismatch though, his fight. But yeah, I like Josh Kelly a lot. I think he's got a lot to show us in the future, and I hope he continues to do that.
Yeah, Josh Kelly is very promising. He's one of my prospects for the British boxing to go on to actually achieve some understandable things. But he's in a hard division. His next fight is on the Kell Brook undercard, I believe, and it's against a former world title challenger. So that's going to be an interesting step up from yesterday's opponent anyway. But yeah, he did look good yesterday.
Cool. And then that brings us on to $1 Million Crolla. It was good to see him get back to winning ways. I think he boxed well, but I still think we'll come on to the prospect of Lomachenko a little bit later. But for me, he didn't set it alight for me last night. I think he boxed well, but I still think
I think the first half of the fight, he boxed really, really well. He boxed really, really well. And I think the second half of the fight, he just let old matey get back into it.
Yeah.
And the problem which I see with Crolla is he's been in a lot of tough fights like that.
Yeah.
And it takes its toll on you after a period of time. And like you said, we'll come on to Lomachenko shortly, but yeah, you're going to struggle at the top end.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I almost feel sorry for Crolla in a weird way because I think because of the accident that happened and the circumstances behind him getting a fractured skull, has almost taken a lot of his best stuff away from him through no fault of his own.
Yeah, but looking at that incident positively, it gave him a lot more popularity.
Yeah, definitely. Haas, have you got anything to add on the Crolla fight before we move on to the main event?
No, I mean, look, Crolla done a job yesterday. But, as I don't want to go on too much, I know we're going to speak about it later. Done a job, got the win. Next step, fucking hell, that's a big ask for him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. So, that brings us on to the main event of the evening, Bellew Usyk, and the sort of curtain call on Tony Bellew's boxing career. I mean, he has won me over the years. Like when he first came around, I thought, who's this, typical Scouser gobshite, shouting his mouth off, blah blah blah. And then like he's very likable in a weird way as well. And the reason why I say that is I think he's actually quite classy these days in how he handles himself. He always praises his opponent, even though I think he went a little bit overboard with it last night after the fight. No, doesn't really ever duck any fights. Hasn't tried to jump on the AJ gravy train and start calling him out as well. But yeah, like even like his boxing, even like his record. I mean, he had 34 professional fights, 30 wins, 20 KOs, 1 draw, 3 losses along the way. Won WBO cruiserweight, WBC cruiserweight, European super cruiserweight as well, to name a few. So, with regards to that, you can't really knock him as to what he's achieved. But last night it looked just like, and I thought he did really well. Like the first few rounds, like I didn't necessarily agree with the way the scorers were scoring it. But I thought Bellew was causing Usyk some sort of problems. But Usyk was just too tough, mate, and just too good. Like, and it's like I think it's like Bellew said after the fight, like if Usyk can cause some heavyweight problems, you know, anyone under 6'3", he's got a chance against. And I mean that knockout was brutal as well. I think he did feel Bellew's power, and he was able to take it. But you know those knockouts when, you know, those shots of when Bellew's got his head and his neck over the rope and his eyes are everywhere. It was like, oh God, this guy don't know where he is. So, you know, I just hope that Bellew is remembered in the right way, because he's had some tough fights. I mean, when I think it was Adonis Stevenson battered him. Was it Adonis Stevenson that battered him that time? And then he had the great victory at Goodison Park, which, you know, I think for anyone, like the thought of the prospect of if you're a boxer fighting in your football team stadium would be amazing. And then, but I like him. You know, he certainly won me over the last few years. What do you guys think?
What was your just a quick question? What was your scorecard like? The round going into the KO.
I think going into the KO, I think I either had it if I'm thinking back now, I'd had quite a few beers watching the fight, but I think I might have even had him up by 1. I think yeah.
Look, that's a fair assessment. Me personally, I
yeah. Sorry, I had him up by 1, and the bloke I was watching it with had the fight as a draw.
Yeah, the fight as a draw. Well, me personally, you could argue, really and truly, if you was a Usyk fan, you could argue that he was 1 up. You could argue that when he was 1 up, you could argue that it was a draw. I personally had Bellew up by 1 round just because I think he started off really well.
Yeah.
But you could see himself tiring later on in the fight, and I think obviously that just done it. But you give that guy his shoes, Usyk, who fought Gassiev in the final of WBSS and literally boxed his head off with just movement. And Tony Bellew was, in my opinion, or anyone else's opinion, on the scorecards, very much in that fight. The official scorecards actually had him up. Yeah, you've got to give his boxing IQ some credibility, because he's done an amazing job, and just by that alone, the bravery he showed yesterday, he won in a loss, similar to how Klitschko lost when he lost Anthony Joshua. And he should feel free to go away from the sport. The Geeser's achieved pretty much everything you can achieve as a fighter, to even boxing at Goodison Park as a champion. So
no, definitely. It's funny you should say like that, how that fight went then, because it reminded me very much of when, in a weird way, when Golovkin beat Brook. Like Brook was in the fight, but it was just the power that overtook.
Yeah,
and it reminded me very much of how, you know, obviously the way it ended and the knockouts are completely different, but you know, in terms of being in the fight, and it's just the power of the opponent was just too much. It reminded me very much of that.
I'm a massive fan of Usyk. I'd like to see how he coaches when he steps up to heavyweight. especially when there's a few more people who can just take them punches and just
Yeah.
rebound off him. Well, coming back to Bellew and his farewell, he's been a major asset to the British boxing. From losing to Nathan Cleverley for the British title on a Frank Warren promotion, and that's how he pretty much got his name about in the press conference, to coming back, fighting Cleverley, and fighting 4 pay-per-views. I know he keeps saying he's a fat scouser from Liverpool, but fighting 4 pay-per-views and basically making all that money he has done and fought the people he has done, you've got to give him his credit. And he deserves to go out on a high, even though he's lost.
No, definitely. Haas?
Yeah, you know, Bellew, man, I think he done himself proud yesterday. I had him up 1 round, actually. I thought he was doing very well. To be fair, I mean, I've watched him a few times, but I watched him his boxing ability last night. You know, I didn't think he was that much of a great boxing ability, you know, technically. But I thought he was really, really good last night. I think he really showed. And I'll be honest with you, mate. For me, Bellew was world class last night, but he just got beat by an elite boxer.
Yeah.
And I think Usyk showed that you know he's going to be causing problems in cruiserweight. Well, he has caused problems in cruiserweight. My only question mark about it is I'm going to be interested to see how he steps up to heavyweight. You know, what type of heavyweight is he going to be? Is he going to have enough power to knock someone out of heavyweight? Is he going to be able to take a lick? I think he can take a lick. I think he's got a chip. You know?
He's got that look about him as well.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I think he can take a lick. I think he's got a chin. But how's he going to compare against like your bigger fighters? You know, like how's he going to compare to that? And I think time will tell. But Usyk's something special, especially at cruiserweight, light heavyweight. You know, he's definitely something special. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. As for Tony Bellew, he done himself proud, man. I'm proud of him. I knew he was going to beat Hay.
Yeah.
On the first fight, although I was a bit dubious. Second fight, I was quite convinced. Yesterday, to be honest with you, mate, when the fight started, I actually thought, hold on a minute, mate. You know, the way it's going, when I was coming into the 6th, 7th round, I was thinking, hold on a minute. I saw Bellew starting to tire a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought he could still do something here.
Yeah.
But, and that was when the elite took over, and you just knew, it's like, we talk about football, you know, it's like Messi up against Trippier. Do you know what I mean? You know, every day he's going to get raped. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trippier can do a bit of special things now and then, but you know, he's not got that. He's not got that elite level. You know, and yeah, it's a shame for Bells that he went out that way. I'd love to go out as a unified cruiserweight champ.
Yeah.
But look, he can go out with his head held high. A lot of respect from me. And yeah, you know, I'm gutted he's gone. To be fair.
Yeah, definitely. I think the sport needs characters like him as well.
Yeah, he's a respectable character as well.
Definitely.
You know, like
he respects the sport as well.
Yeah, we like all that trash talking and that. Don't get me wrong, it gets us all gassed up. But when certain fighters do too much trash talking, they lose respect for the other opponents or lose respect for boxing. And I'm not keen on that. There's a few heavyweights out there that do that. I'm not keen. Don't get me wrong, it gets the audiences in. You know, it does what it's got to do. But, you know, him, I feel that he respects everyone. He respects all his fighters. And the respect he showed Usyk after that, you know, after that fight, you know, showed what sort of man he was, you know. Glad to see him bowed out like that. But he lost to the by far
the better man on the night.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. You know.
Anyone got anything else they want to do on Tony Bellew before we move on?
No, I'm all good.
Cool. So, it was talked about last night in his interview with Anthony Crolla after his fight. What's your thoughts on the potential fight between Anthony Crolla and Lomachenko?
Go on, Ash. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first if you want. I mean, going back to what we was talking about with Crolla, I thought he fought well and he done the job, but he didn't do it convincingly. And I just think Lomachenko's a total different. Lomachenko is a smaller version of Usyk, you know what I mean? Like he's just an elite fighter, and I just don't see. I don't see him getting out. I don't see him getting past 6th, 7th round, mate.
No, if that.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see it, and I think that's a bit too far for him. And I think that just states where he is, or he's just unfortunate enough to be in that sort of with elite boxers in his weight category that he's not going to really achieve what he wants to achieve in that fight. You know. But yeah, too much for him, mate. Lomachenko's too decent, man. Lomachenko for me is my favourite pound-for-pound fighter at the moment.
Really?
Yeah. I love Lammy, mate. He's decent.
Yeah,
Love the way he fights. He's got so much to his game. Do you know what I mean? So much to his game. It's unbelievable. He's a special sort.
Hack.
Right. My opinion on the Crolla Lomachenko fight. First of all, I think if Crolla fights Lomachenko, then Lomachenko boxes his head off.
Yeah.
And possibly stop Crolla late on. Realistically, the fight happening, as I do, and I'm afraid to watch these interviews again. Listen to an Eddie Heard interview saying, "Yeah, Lomachenko's next. For Crolla, we're happy to sit. He might not get that mandatory for a year, but we're happy to sit and wait for that mandatory." And basically, what that's basically saying is, Lomachenko's either at one point going to relinquish the belt, give it back, Crolla fights for a world title in the WBA against whoever. Do you know what I mean? In the top 10 rankings, and then wins a title, and that's great for his career. Or Lomachenko decides to fight Crolla. Now, with Lomachenko being with Top Rank and Crolla being with Eddie Hearn and the Zone USA be willing to put that fight on, that will come into a bidding war.
Yeah.
And that's going to mean two things. If that does happen, that is a possibility that becomes a bidding war. If the Zone win it, the fight doesn't happen because Lomachenko is staying with ESPN and Top Rank.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, ESPN win the rights, and Anthony Crolla goes over to America to fight Lomachenko on ESPN for a hell of a lot of money to get his head boxed off. So alternatively, it's a win-win for Crolla. And to come back from that situation to where he is this day, he's done well to keep him coming back. Give me his juice.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and but I think it's just another one. Like it's very similar to last night's main event where Lomachenko is just too good for him, and I think if he does take that fight, and you couldn't necessarily blame him for it, that would he take it just for his final payday almost, because there'll be a lot of interest in the fight. Don't get me wrong, and it would probably to a certain extent set him up, but for me, it would be a complete mismatch for me. Complete match.
It would be, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I think Lomachenko is arguably pound for pound best around at the moment, if not the best. But
I don't think no one can argue with that.
Yeah, so cool.
What would be interesting for me is going back to what Hakan just said a minute ago. Was he mentioned about fighters being a top rank, and obviously Crolla being with Matchroom, from what I'm saying. I don't know, mate. I think the money for all fighters is with the Zone, is with Matchroom USA.
Yeah, got a lot of money. They went. Maurice Hooker and Takido, whose fights this weekend, they had a purse bid. Went to purse bid. The Zone and ESPN both pursuing for that fight. ESPN pipped them to it. Literally pipped them to it, but had enough money to pip them to it.
Yeah.
Pip who to the Zone to it?
Yeah, Maurice Hooker's Eddie Hearn fighter.
Yeah, but I think with Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn's a shrewd businessman, mate. If he don't feel that's going to do the numbers, and someone else, he will only offer the money that he thinks is suitable for that.
But what I'm trying to say is that fight could easily be won by ESPN and Top Rank as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. I just think all the money's. I think a lot of them big money, but the people making what footballers making the biggest money at the moment?
Say again?
What footballers are making the most money at the moment? What boxers are making the most money at the moment? And who are they fighting under?
And it's AJ, really, isn't it?
No, I know it's AJ, but what else? I'm talking about as a majority.
Oh, right, well,
Do you know what I mean?
The latest deal is all done on DAZN and Canelo. That's all done under hand, really, isn't it?
Well, done by design, but yeah.
You don't know what these other fighters are getting.
Yeah, but I don't believe these Charlo brothers are getting the money that Herman would pay them. You know, they're not even main event fighters at the moment with at top rank or PBC, wherever they are at the moment. Do you understand what I mean? So, like, they're not even main event fighters, you know. You know, another thing, I don't want to stroll onto this because I know we're going to do something on this another time, but, you know, it's like the Tyson Fury Wilder fight, and I know there's time left on it, yeah, but you've only sold 7,000 tickets, mate. I mean, what is that about? I mean, what are we going to get? The Americans turn around and say, we buy our tickets late or something, or whatever. You know, 19,000 seat stadium, and it's like 7,000, 8,000 bought so far. The top row in open.
That LA Staples, I think it is. That's only ever been sold out once for a boxing event, and that was like years and years and years ago. It was always going to be a tough sell in LA.
So why put it in LA then?
I don't know.
You know, bad movements.
Up front is better. But apparently, I mean, I can't see this happening. Apparently, they've sold 9,000. The top tier's not open. But apparently, a lot of the tickets get sold in the last week in America. But then, in my eyes, that's bullshit because a lot of the tickets get sold out straight away if it's a big enough fight.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's still part of me that thinks that fight might not even happen. Like, anything could happen between now and the date the fight starts.
Getting closer and closer, though.
Yeah. So,
2 weeks Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah,
I mean, would you reckon to the undercard in that fight?
Poo.
Yeah, I think it's dog shit, mate.
The only thing which I think they've got backing them up is that they've got another card showing on Showtime that day, somewhere else, where Stevenson's fighting.
Yeah, but you know, like if you listen to Frank Warren, you listen to Shelley Finkel, you listen to Dante Wilder, you listen to Tyson Fury. This is the biggest fight going.
Yeah, they're
in this year. Blah blah blah.
But they're just trying to sell the fight. But guys, let's leave that until the run up to the episodes running up to the fight because we're going off a little bit off.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll do a special long episode on that one.
We get Harry Rant on that one, I tell you.
Yeah, so Whyte Chisora 2 announced this, recently. I think really for me that fight, the first fight was a great fight. Probably one of the best heavyweight fights I've seen in a long time. But I still can't see past Dillian Whyte winning again. For me,
I think. Sorry, yes.
No, that's all right.
No.
Regardless of whether Hayes in the camp and how much he's got to do with Del Boy and stuff like that. I just think White's too good for Chisora. And I think and I've said it in the previous pods as well. I don't know whether it's because I don't rate Wilder so much in terms of his previous opponents, but I think Whyte would give Wilder a good run for his money as well. But that's for another time as well. But what do you guys think? Would it be repeat or revenge in this Whyte Chisora 2?
Do you know what? I think it will be repeat, and I think it possibly could be a knockout late on. I think Derek Chisora is getting older, man. He's been in a lot of fights and a lot of big battles where he's took a lot of hidings as such. And I think Dillian Whyte's just a fresher, man. He's going to be the improved fighter, and I just think he would beat him. Good fight though. The first fight was amazing. We went there to Manchester for that fight. Yeah, it was a good fight. The atmosphere in that fight was, it was good.
Yeah, it was a decent fight. It was decent undercard.
But
sorry?
It was controversial with scoring, but I think it definitely wanted a second fight.
I'll tell you what, I think Dillian. Oh, Dillian. I like Dillian a lot, man. I think Dillian's come on loads, mate. He doesn't bottle the fight. he'll fight anyone. All this talk about, he's hiding from Chisora, he's hiding from Ortiz. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck Ortiz. You know what I mean? Like, Ortiz, 49-year-old, some fucking fought bums. Yeah, he's a good fighter. Let's get it right. But, and he most really is. A lot of people do miss him out, and I don't think it's because they're scared of him or they think they can't beat him. I think it's purely because of money. Because you don't generate the money. But Whyte, I think Whyte's come on loads, and I personally think Whyte Chisora, it will be repeat. I felt the first fight was very evenly fought. On the night, I sat there and I was like, mate, that's Chisora's fight. When I look back, even then, I struggled to sort of pick a winner from it. I thought it was good from both sides, and they went out with hammer and tongs. This fight, I think it's a KO. Whyte KOs him or stops him. I think Whyte's too good. He's come on far too much. He's dedicated to this shit. Do you know what I mean? And he always works hard. So for me, it's a Whyte win, and I hope Whyte wins. My only worry for Whyte is if Whyte wins. Personally, and I don't think this is down to Anthony Joshua not wanting the Wilder fight or whatever, but I can't see Wilder stepping up to fight Joshua on April 13th.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get a Whyte Joshua too. Yeah. And I personally think for Whyte, it's a shot for him, and I get why he's got to do it, but I don't think he should do it.
Yeah.
I think if Joshua beats him, where's he going? If Joshua beats him after that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think... I also, the part of me thinks that will... I don't think
where's he going?
If Whyte fights Joshua and Joshua beats him again, where's he going from that?
He can go again. He can go again against Tyson Fury. He can go again against Luis Ortiz, Dominic Brazil. He's got there's big fights out there for him.
Wilder as well.
Wilder. If he goes out there and gets knocked out in the 11th after giving a brave performance, do you know what I mean? He's in there. Look how many times Derek Chisora's come back. And look, he's fighting on the paper.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying his boxing career is over with. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you fought Joshua twice, and if you lose,
would be a good fight again.
Nah, man. For me, Joseph Parker's got to go and fight a few other people first before he can think about fighting people like Whyte.
I'm about down the line in 18 months. That fight, after a few notable wins for Parker, that fight would be appealing again.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. What about this one? I'll throw one in. What about Whyte and Usyk?
I think with Usyk's got to come in. If he's going to step up to heavyweight, I think he's got to fight a couple of fighters. I'm not saying like Binman, like Tyson Fury fought. I'm talking about,
Usyk's first fight in the heavyweight should be the loser on the 22nd. Or the debate what we're speaking about should be the loser. The winner.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
If it's not Deontay Wilder in April, which I doubt it is, and we'll speak about that on another podcast, why and who's to blame and so on and whatever. But I think on the 13th, the winner should fight Anthony Joshua. The loser of that fight should fight Usyk on the undercard. It's a good pay-per-view as well.
No, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if there's enough money on it, but yeah.
Yeah, of course there would be, mate, because you got Usyk's coming over. Usyk's not going to be a pay-per-view star in Britain. Tony Bellew was the pay-per-view star. Usyk's got these two to tango. Usyk against the loser of the 22nd is not to be pay-per-view. So it's a perfect undercard fight.
No, I agree with what you're saying, definitely. I just don't know if they'll financially do it because of the finances of it all. But yeah, I agree. That's what I think. I think Usyk wants to step into it. He needs to be fighting that. I'd even like to see him fight Joe Joyce. I'd like to see someone fight Joe Joyce, man. Yeah. I'd like to see where I know Joe Joyce is still amateurish in his record, but he's had a lot of amateur fights. And I'd like to see where he goes with that. I mean, who's he fighting on that card, on that thingy card?
Tom Hanks or some shit.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But I mean, I know people. The thing is people don't want to fight Joe Joyce because they know they think Joe Joyce will most be beat him, And then if you've got someone who's 20, 22, 25 fights in, you know what I mean? Maybe got one loss on his record. You don't want to fight Joe Joyce.
High risk, low reward.
Yeah, that's Ortiz as well, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Cool. So we're in agreement that it's going to be a repeat for Dillian Whyte beating Chisora then.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Right, last topic of the evening. Kell Brook. What's going on with this? Well, rumours of splitting with Dominic Ingle. There was talk after the fight last night that the fight with Khan's pretty much done. The fact that they were sat only 4 seats away from each other as well, I think was a very tactical move by Eddie to try and get the fight done to a certain extent. And I read a couple of rumours this week as well. That is obviously Ingle's not going to be in his corner on December the 8th. Now Kell's put it down to the fact that Ingle's got his own stuff going on. He's been training a lot of fighters in different parts of the world, and he can't dedicate himself to Kell Brook. Kell Brook's also denied the rumours that those two have fallen out, but he won't be in his corner for the fight on December the 8th. And there was rumours now that obviously Dave Caldwell's main stable in Bellew Usyk is no longer around, that they could see that link up happening. And or maybe Adam Booth with Kell Brook as well. I think both of those would be a good fit for Kell. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I'll give you my opinion. Kell Brook and the split. First of all, I'll give you my opinion about Amir Khan. I think the fight's happening next year. I think both of them will come down to Kell's been like that for a little while, but especially Amir Khan come down to a dead end road where he's signed a 3-fight contract with Eddie Hearn, when Eddie Hearn, with the promise of the third fight, is going to be on a pay-per-view. And there's only one pay-per-view out there, especially Manny Pacquiao now pretty much fighting Broner in January. That's Kell Brook. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but just only about an hour ago or something, it emerged that there's a little video of them two last night at the boxing.
Yeah.
Speaking quite closely and basically saying that the fight's done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on a Kell Brook note and a Amir Khan note, finally the fight's done. Way too late. Should have happened years ago. But, whenever, that'd be an interesting fight. And, we would all buy the pay-per-view and watch that. Kell Brook, Dominic Ingle. I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, something's happened there because I understand Dominic Ingle's been quite busy with Kid Galahad and Billy Joe Saunders. The fight fell through and couldn't spare the time up for Kell Brook. But I wouldn't be totally surprised if Dominic Ingle was in his corner for the Amir Khan fight.
Yeah.
Adam Booth. I think Amir Khan's only. I think Kell Brook's got mostly his last fight left in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if a Kell Brook goes in there and knocks Amir Khan out, and then there's a major opportunity for him in a big fight, then I think he must be fight one more.
Yeah.
If he loses that fight, then that's him over.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think any trainer is going to want to take him on for just that one fight, especially Dave Caldwell or an Adam Booth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a bit premature, but yeah, I think that's where I see that situation really.
I think it might do Kell Brook. I mean, I see what you're saying. I can obviously on the short term things, but it might do Kell Brook a bit of. It might freshen him up a bit if he changes trainer. Might just well do that, but like you said, no trainer wants to commit to someone who's going to look into retire in the next fight. After the next fight or two,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem you got there. But yeah, that Kell Brook fight has to happen now. Kell Brook and Amir Khan has to happen now. It is too late, but it has to happen. I don't think either fighter's got anywhere to go. If you want me to be totally honest with you, I think fucking Amir Khan's a bit of a bitch. I think he's the one that's been bitching it out, and I think he's still sitting here with his stupid fucking demands about his £10 rehydration, something like that. He was trying to put into the contract, if that's true.
Yeah.
I just think they should just get out there, have a war. Who do I reckon will win? Sounds really weird, as though I think Amir Khan's a bitch. You can't knock Amir's ability. Do you know what I mean? He ain't got a chin, but fucking that boy punch, and he's fucking quick. Do you know what I mean? He's really quick at punching. You know what I mean? And moving. Kell Brook, I think Kell Brook, his last two notable fights, which was Triple G. I think again a step too far and a weight too high for him, and got toyed. Done all right for the first few rounds, but then just got toyed with and just got fucking sparked out. And Errol Spence, I think again, I thought Brook done all right for the first part of the fight, and then all of a sudden Errol Spence just took over and just dominated. You know,
he said, like when his eye socket went, he said he couldn't see, and he goes, I basically just shit myself, didn't he?
Yeah, what we're talking about the Triple G fight?
No, obviously Triple G done his eye socket, and then did he break it again in the Spence fight? And he goes, I just couldn't see, and I was just panicked.
Didn't he fight Spence? I can't remember. Did he not fight Spence before Triple G?
No, it was Triple G then Spence.
Then Spence, yeah. Most probably just finished him off on that. But I like Kell. I like Kell, but for me, Kell Brook and Amir Khan, I'm backing Kell on that. I'll support Kell on that. But
me too.
Hard one to call. Really hard one to call.
No, definitely. I think, Kell Brook's pretty much always been my favourite fighter since he's been around. So I'd like to see him definitely shut the Queen Khan up, and I'm very much hoping that he shucks some chocolate brownies at him and finishes Khan off once and for all. So, anything else we want to add?
Do you reckon that's a stadium fight?
I think it's going to be MEN Arena. I don't think
it's got to be. It's got to be Manchester.
If it's going to be a stadium fight, there's no way Khan will take the fight if it's Bramall Lane, Sheffield United Stadium, which is obviously Kell's.
About Bolton.
And there's no way, I don't think. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I
don't think it's big enough for that now. I thought it would have been.
If they'd have fought two years ago, maybe, then maybe. But I think it's MEN Arena.
Yeah, I think it's MEN Arena size, mate.
Yeah, they're all the O2, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else, lads?
Nope, we're all good.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoyed it tonight, actually. Yeah. Nice double podcast tonight. One on football, one on boxing. Go back and listen to the football one as well. And obviously, leave your comments and remarks and tell us how we're doing, if we're doing good or not. Be honest. You can abuse us. We'll take it. And let us know your thoughts, people. Like, subscribe, press the notification button. Find us on YouTube, obviously, because we're on YouTube at the moment. But find us also on Twitter and Facebook.
Cool. Well, thanks for the evening, guys. We'll be coming up with some more content next week. We'll be, like Hassan said, we'll be posting on our Twitter page. And there's potentially a Sit Round the Table podcast maybe coming live next Friday night. So keep your eyes out for that, viewers, as well. Apart from that, I'm signing out. See you later. And thanks for tuning in to Sports and Banter.
Peace out. Thank you all.
Peace.
And Queen Khan.